welcome back, everybody. There we go, that's a little better. We are working on the Kawasaki, I believe it's the FH500V. And when I was looking to, when I got the kit for this, for the motor, and this piece came with it, this gasket. That gasket is right here. And the old gasket, which I don't have anymore, it kind of fell apart. The old gasket had a cutout in it for this hole here, and, or not hole, but this dimple here and this dimple. There's two cutouts in it. So the new gasket comes with one. Well, I figure, well, maybe there's something, maybe I ordered something wrong. Everything else fit except for this. So when I started looking for this gasket, I started running across bulletins. So actually, I think the channel is where I ran across, it was a Mower Mechanic. Yeah, I think it's Mower Mechanic. And that's when I seen that bulletin. I was like, oh crap, okay. So I ordered that part, and that assembly part comes with, matter of fact, here's the part number, straight from Kawasaki. And it comes with a new cover. So here's the two covers. There's your differences. Old cover, new cover. And see how the new cover is twice as thick. So I'm assuming they had some sealing issues and always leaked around there. So it comes with longer bolts because the plate's thicker, and a new gasket. So the manufacturer sets you up with everything you need. This gasket is the same as the one I showed you a second ago in this kit here. All right, so came with instructions. So it's Kawasaki service information. It was revised, and this is the motors that it affects. So it's the FH451V, 500, 531, 541, and the 580. It says to improve sealing performance of the breather system, the breather cover, the gasket, and the bolts will be changed. When installing the new breather cover and gaskets, remove the breather element and plate. So here's the old system setup. And they want you to remove the breather element and the breather plate. That's your breather element, and there's your breather plate. You will no longer use it in the new setup. All right, so there's the old. There's your part numbers in that column. Here's the new. There's your part numbers, individual part numbers for that. So it only has new screws, the new cover, and the new gasket. You do not use the breather element and the breather plate anymore. So that's what we're going to do, which is a good thing, because the breather element, that was trashed. So let me set you up a little differently. We'll set you up over this way, and we'll zoom in a little bit. And we're going to get this stuff installed, and there'll be that much more of this motor put together. Hopefully I can finish putting it together tomorrow. It is starting to get cold out here. Yesterday, all day long in my area, it got no more than 28 degrees the entire day. Wind blowing. And today I think it got up maybe 38, 39. Some of the snow and ice melted a little bit, but it's going to freeze again. Alright, so I'm going to do this, and then I'll be done for the night. I'll come back out here tomorrow, probably late morning. I usually take care of some things in the mornings on the weekends, and then I'll come out a little bit later. Take some brake clean. I've already scraped the surface. I did that a while back. We're going to go across here and we're going to wipe it all down. Get rid of the oils and the greases and whatever else might be in here, contaminating the surface area from a good seal. Sometimes I use alcohol, sometimes I'll use brake clean. It all works. Just don't use oil or grease. And we're going to take and wipe the new plate down, because it might have some shipping oil on or something, and we don't want that on there. Then you got a little gray stuff come off of there. And I believe I'm going to put this together without RTV on this part. Well, actually, it's got a bead of RTV on it anyway. Now, I don't know why they didn't bring that RTV around the corner like that. I mean, because the block is the same way. They could have brought that around. It would seal it, because now if it's going to leak, it'll leak right through this area. All right. Yeah. The one that came in that kit I got is, that gasket is a little bit thinner than this one here, which I don't think it makes a difference. It'll do the same thing. Pretty sure that this is made out of a different material too. All right, here we go. That should be a 10 millimeter, which I don't see my, let's see, 8, 12. What happened to my 10 millimeter? Well, I know it's, there it is. It was in the ratchet. No wonder I couldn't find it. I'm just gonna snug it up in a crisscross pattern. That should be plenty good. Oh yeah. Yep. Yep. Yeah, we're good. every once in a while I'll check behind this thing. I've pretty well got it figured out now. What it takes to snug it up or tighten it up. All right. That is it for, oh, the other thing I got too is I got the flywheel fan for it. And I took and cleaned up the flywheel. So there's that. I'll zoom you back out a little bit there. And I will show you why I decided we needed a new fan. That thing has had it. I don't know if you guys can see it, but there is hairline cracks all the way around this top edge. And there's probably some hairline cracks somewhere in the fins and base also. But this thing was ready to explode with enough RPMs. It's brittle, it's basically sun beaten, and that has baked the plastics on here. So I got a new one. That center hole was a pretty snug fit even on this old one. And with this new one, it was a little bit more of a snug fit. And with it being cold out here, it probably didn't make it any better. But I took a hand file and I went around that inside perimeter until it fit on there very snugly. And then I put my metal plate back in here. And before I did any of that, I went through here and I cleaned up all that dust that was caked up in this flywheel. And the only other thing I need to do is just clean up the bore here, this tapered bore, and double check my magnets to make sure that they're not loose. And I've already done that once, and none of them seem to be loose. So, but if they were, I would just epoxy it back into place. I've done that multiple times and have not ever had any returns. I've done it on my own stuff. I've done it on other people's stuff. Sometimes that's what you have to do. I think one of the things I had to do it too is I couldn't even find a flywheel for that machine anymore. So we would either have a machine that was worthless to him, or we glued the epoxy the magnets back on and put this thing back into service. And that's what we ended up doing. All right, guys, that's it for me tonight. My toes are getting cold, my fingertips are getting cold, and so tomorrow I'll try to get back out of here again, and we're going to try to get this thing put back together. We're going to go outside and clean up that base on the machine it goes on, and hopefully get this set back on and start getting it put back together. Well, we're getting that Kawasaki put back together. Probably about halfway through. Got all the tins hung on it. Just got the carburetor and all put on. Flywheel and new fan is put on. The coils are on and adjusted. I think I gotta maybe move this wire over here and come out through there though. Although it likes to sit this way better. I'll have to see how the top cover is going to fit right there. If it'll allow that wire to pass through here, then I'll just probably leave it, because that's the way it really wants to go. If I got to come around here, I got to force it to come around here. But won't be much longer. I redid the sheath on this and inspected the wires all the way back to the alternator, and I'll put new caps on it and get it plugged back in, or new spade terminals. And that wire there is our ground. I got to figure out where that goes, because it was like that when I started working on it. So, all right, we got the exhaust on. We got the fuel pump on. And we finished up with installing the cover bolts. We're just about there. Yep, we are just about there. Before you know it, we'll have this thing on the machine. The starter's on. What we gotta do is put our filter cover on, filter housing, and still gotta do up our wiring. Here for the alternator, we'll shine our shaft up now and put some oil on that in case I don't get to putting the PTO on today. But I believe that is it though. There's a couple things and then we'll be able to drop it onto the machine. Got a little cleaning to do on that, top and bottom, and then we'll set the motor on. All right, we got her all back together. I took the fill spout off again. It fit in there and slid in, snugly. But if I remember right, this was kind of wet in this area, and I don't know if it was coming from there or coming from here. So I'm gonna go ahead and change the O-ring on this, and hopefully I got one in my little handy dandy O-ring box from Harbor Freight. Oh yeah, I think that one's better. I think that one is better. All right. I'll do 1.5 quarts and check it. Because this is a smaller twin cylinder, so it should still be roughly 2 quarts though. We're going to start off like that, just so we don't overfill it. We got a new oil filter for it also. And we have a new little belt for it, which I'm trying to remember what that, I guess that would be the PTO belt. So get that put on. Here's our filter. It's a 4967 made by Fram, or pretty much any other PH 4967. Most of your manufacturers pretty much use the same number. And what you find maybe a Napa 4967, it's still gonna be the same filter. There we go. Yeah. And it could probably use a different filter also, because this mating surface was a fairly wide mating surface, so if you had a larger diameter one that still fit this mating surface, you'd be able to use that also. All right. go. Got our oil filter on. We're gonna check the Earl. See how much more we have to have. And we need quite a bit more. About roughly 1/2 to 3/4 more.